Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. I wanted to conduct an update on the ongoing Russian military buildup in and around the Ukraine. As we know, forces of the Russian Federation continue to make its presence known and build up that presence with the possibility of conducting some sort of military operation against the Ukraine. Now, with that being said, we're starting to get information from the Ukraine Foreign Ministry, and I wanted to read to you a statement by the Ukraine Foreign Ministry, and have a close look and try and dissect some of these statements that are coming out of the Ukraine Foreign Ministry. So these statements were made by Dmitry Kuleba, and he has sounded the alarm on Monday during a meeting with his Western counterpart, saying that the West would have to avoid being tied up in bureaucracy in the event of a conflict if Russia starts acting. He says you simply won't have time physically to coordinate, to go through all the bureaucratic procedures to coordinate decisions, he said. So please do the preparatory work now, because if military scenario happens, there will simply be no time. He urged his French and German counterparts. The foreign ministry insisted that Kiev, however, is not looking to escalate the situation, but will defend itself if necessary. Kuleba demands for Paris and Berlin to begin military preparations. Coincides with claims from NATO head Jens Stoltenberg, who said that the organization has seen unusual concentrations of troops on the Russian border. So again, it would seem that the Ukraine Foreign Ministry is under the impression that the Germany and France could in fact come to the aid of Ukraine in case of a military conflict. Now, with that being said, that is not going to happen. The political situation inside of Germany, the cultural situation inside of Germany and France is not going to allow a war to break out between Germany, France, by intervening on behalf of the Ukraine. And that would be the direct insertion of either German, French troops coming to the aid of the Ukraine. I highly doubt, well, I can say this, that it's rather doubtful and highly improbable that the United States would overtly insert troops into the Ukraine to protect areas of eastern Ukraine from Russian advances. So again, I would say remove it from the thought process that Germany is going to intervene, much less France. Not going to happen. Could they possibly send military aid and assistance to Ukraine? Yes, possibly. They could do that, but any idea that NATO would actually get involved in this and then actually end up going to war with Russia is absolutely ridiculous. NATO is not ready for a war against the Russian Federation. The United States is politically not ready for a war against the Russian Federation. Now, could there be miscalculations and missteps? And could we see a possible engagement between U.S. forces, NATO forces, and the Russian Federation via miscalculation? Yes, possibly. Accidental incidents could possibly occur, ranging from an incident inside the Black Sea to even targets, quite possibly, that the Russian Federation could view as a threat to its national strategic defense initiatives, and launch strikes against those targets. That's possible as well. But this narrative coming out of Ukraine that would indicate that the German Foreign Office and the France military, the French military, should prepare for operations to assist Ukraine is simply ridiculous. It's not going to happen. The Germans have let its military atrophy. It is in no way, shape to move forces in to assist the Ukraine. They wouldn't do very much good anyway. I would say probably the Polish are in better positions to actually assist the Ukraine than the Germans are, and especially in regards to the destruction of the German warrior culture by some of this progressive thought that has inundated the German political sphere, as well as France. Not so much in France as in Germany, but again, it's definitely omnipresent. They've let their militaries atrophied. Again, more so in Germany than in France. I believe at this point the Polish probably operate more Polish or German tanks than the Germans actually possess in German tanks, such as the Leopard 2. But again, the idea that NATO is going to introduce forces and go to war against the Russian Federation over eastern Ukraine is simply insanity. It's just something that is not going to happen. They would not be able to win that conflict anyway, much less a conflict of a Russian move into Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Again, another serious miscalculation in terms of bringing those three states into NATO, much less having the ability, the military ability, to defend those three states. Is something that NATO has again simply atrophied from a military standpoint, but as a political standpoint as well, in terms of having the gumption and wherewithal to go to war against the Russian Federation over those three states, or even Ukraine, is just something that NATO and many of these states in Western Europe simply culturally right now, it's just something that is not going to happen outside of a possible Russian direct military invasion into Western Europe, which I also do not believe is going to occur. Could we see a land grab in Ukraine? Yeah, possibly. Could we see ultimately, if there is a miscalculation in the Ukraine, could we see some sort of activity in the Baltic states as well? Yes, possibly, and that would basically lead to the disintegration of NATO, because NATO is not going. Well, I don't want to say NATO. It's the responding countries, such as the core countries, such as Germany, France, United Kingdom. They're simply not going to go to war against the Russian Federation, and especially a battle they simply can't win, the likes of Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, much less Ukraine. But just keeping an eye on the situation, and as events occur, we will definitely report those events. Have a good day, everybody.